It's the Imperfect Gardener with an update on my little experiment I did where I planted radishes, 2 rows of radishes here, and then tried planting something else in the middle to go ahead and get it started so that after the radishes were done, which is right now, I would already have something started in that spot. Some things did well, some not. This is spinach, and if you look at, I mean, it is growing, and it might turn out okay, but it's not the best. This is the spinach that has been growing on its own the whole time. And this is how big that is. And then this is the little stuff that was trying to grow in between the radishes. Now, time will tell. We will see if this shoots up now that the radishes are gone. Then I'll be able to say, okay, that was successful. We'll see what happens. Look at that yummy spinach. I've been eating that. Down here is another section where I did it, where you see all this grass and stuff. This is where all the radishes were. I just yanked the rest of the radishes out of the ground. This in the middle right here is Swiss chard. So Swiss chard looks a little better than the spinach did. But this is what was in between the radishes. This is the Swiss chard that has been growing on its own without any radishes around it. So obviously it's bigger. But I think this is going to take off and get me some good stuff. The only question about it, though, is what I see with this Swiss chard is that a lot of it was getting big, long stems trying to get up to the sun. But there's more fresh stuff coming down there. The one that did the best was down here, was the kale. So this is the kale that was in between the radishes, actually. I just pulled the rest of the radishes out of here on the edges of it, some here, some here. And now this Swiss chard doesn't look bad that's in the middle. There's what was in between the radishes, and down here is what's been on its own over here. So you can see this is a little deeper, darker green. It's gotten a little bigger, and I actually picked a little bit of that and had it on salad today. This down here isn't as ready to pick, obviously. But hey, it grew pretty well in between those radishes. And we'll see what happens. I didn't thin it out at all, being in there, so we may do that. But we'll see how it works. So in a little while, we'll see how big those grow, if they actually end up being something fabulous or not. But I do think a little success with the kale. The kale I would recommend more than I would doing it with the spinach. The spinach didn't do very well with it. Swiss chard, okay. Kale, much better. So that's just an update on that. Have fun gardening.